BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
All right, we are live. What's happening? Last week's card. Not bad. Yeah, this weekend for a fight night. Pretty good. No, I'm not going to lie. This is a decent card. There's a few headlining matches, right? The Bo Nickel one stands out. Of course, the main event, Sandhagen and Figueiredo, stands out. That's pretty much about it, though. It's the big one is, Bo and Heiner de Ritter. That's probably the fight everyone's looking most forward to. Everyone wants to see how good is Bo Nickel, right? And we're going to find out exactly how good, because Heiner de Ritter is he's for real, man. So in Iowa, Corey Sandhagen and taking on Figueiredo. Let's get straight to it. So Corey the Sandman, he's been looking phenomenal as of late, other than Umar Nurmagomedov loss. No shame losing to Umar. Umar is, he's incredible. But before that, had a nice victory over Rob Font, beat Marlon Vera, beat Yadong Song, finished Yadong Song, very impressive. So, was won 3 of his last 4 fights, so he's been on a roll. Won 3 of his last 4, the only loss was to Umar, and, we all know how good Umar is. And then we got Figueiredo. Figgy came up to 135 from 125, and his first few fights at 135 was looking real good. I mean, beat Rob Font, that was a big win. Went in there, beat Cody Garbrandt, finished Cody Garbrandt, and then beats Marlon Chito Vera. Nice 3-fight win streak to start his run at 135. That's phenomenal. Then he runs into Peter Yan, and Peter Yan, on the other hand, super, super high level and just decimated Figueiredo, dominated him everywhere. So, I'm going to go with the Sandman, of course. Huge favorite. He should be able to dominate the striking department easy. He's a much, much better striker than Figueiredo. Figueiredo's chances of victory here is to get Corey Sandhagen down and take his back and choke him out. He does have good back takes, decent takedowns as well. His jiu-jitsu is good. And you've seen Corey Sandhagen get taken down before and get his back taken, right? Most notably, Aljamain Sterling. Is Figueiredo going to be able to do that? I don't know. We'll find out. In a 5-rounder, though, it's going to be tough, to wrestle for 5 rounds. So that's why I'm leaning towards Corey Sandhagen there. And the next one, the co-main, this is the big one, man. This is a real, real big one here. Hold on here. Sorry about that. Yeah, Bo Nickel, NCAA Div 1 wrestling champion, I believe, may have won all 4 years. I'll double check. I don't know if he won all 4, but he may have. And Dan Hodge Trophy winner, which means, he's the best wrestler of that year. The guy's a very, very high-level wrestler. But that's about it, though. I mean, his jiu-jitsu is good because his wrestling's so good, so he's so good at just being able to control top position. He's not a guy that's going to be throwing up submissions off his back. He's a guy who's very top game heavy, takes you down, uses his wrestling to take you down, dominate top position, add some ground and pound, and he can probably work his submissions from there. Most notably, probably arm triangles. If he turns the back, the rear naked. But Heiner de Ritter can grapple, man. He's a very, very good grappler. Got great jiu-jitsu. he was on a roll in ONE FC too. He was decimating guys, and his only two losses. If you look at his record here, 19-2, and his only two losses were to Anatoly Malikin, who at the time was the heavyweight champ. So Rainer de Ridder went up to heavyweight to fight Anatoly Malikin. Obviously, that didn't go well for him. Clearly, lost both those fights. But hey, you lost to a heavyweight. Now you're fighting Bo Nickel, who's a middleweight, and from what I heard, he's 36 pounds overweight as of right now, which is a lot, but I'm not surprised because I think he'll be able to make the weight. Wrestlers, he's been making weight his whole life, so I think, that shouldn't be a problem for a guy like Bo Nickel to make the weight. Very professional. But Rainer de Ridder, man, he can grapple, man. Like, Bo Nickel takes down Rainer de Ridder, he's going to have to just stay in top guard position and just ground and pound. I don't see Bo Nickel really passing too much, looking for subs on Rainer. I don't think he's going to be submitting Rainer de Ridder. If he does, I'll be surprised. Rainer de Ridder is a live dog here. I mean, we all know all the hype on Bo, but at the end of the day, he's only got 7 pro fights. That's not enough, man. To fight a guy like Rainer de Ridder, he's got 21 pro fights. That's significant, man. That's triple the experience of a Bo Nickel. Right? What happens if Bo Nickel can't get the fight to the ground? What if he gasses out? What if he does what he did last fight and turns striker like he did with Paul Craig? Rainer de Ridder is a much better striker than Paul Craig, and I believe he's a much better striker than Bo Nickel. Now, is he a striker? No, he's not. He's a grappler, mainly jiu-jitsu, but he's a better striker than Bo Nickel. So if he can sprawl and brawl and the fight stays standing, or maybe if Bo doesn't want to engage the takedowns like he did his last fight, I'm going to go with Rainer de Ridder on that one. I do believe this fight is going to go the distance, so I'll take the over on that one. But yeah, man, I think Rainer de Ridder at plus 260 current odds, he's a live dog, man. Rainer de Ridder is a very good grappler himself, man. Had a match with Ty Rotolo. I mean, obviously got dominated, but Ty Rotolo is one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. Him and his brother Cade, absolute savages. So, yeah, man, Rainer de Ridder is a live dog. I would take the over on that one. I think this fight's going to go decision for sure. If the fight does end in a finish, I think Rainer might get the submission, believe it or not. But I think Bo's been probably training, a top team. Hopefully he's been working on his jiu-jitsu because he's going to need it here. Up next, we got Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Daniel Rodriguez. Both these guys have not been looking good lately. What's his face? D-Rod. Let's see, how many losses has he got in a row? Oh, so he's actually he's lost 3 of his last 4. Got Darce choked by Magny. Got destroyed by Ian Gary, head kicked in the first round. That's one of Ian's only finishes in the UFC, and then, had that war with Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin beat him up pretty good. And then his last fight, he won a split decision over Alex Morono. Very lackluster fight, very boring. And now you're taking on Ponzinibbio, who's coming off a decent win, but he's lost 2 of his last 3 as well. And his last fight, most notably, finished Carlston Harris. So, these are dead even on the odds. It's going to be a close one. I'm leaning towards Santiago Ponzinibbio on this one. He's getting a little up there with age, 38, I know, but I think he's better than D-Rod. I really do. I think, and at one time, in Santiago's prime, he was a nightmare, dude. Like he was on an 8 or 9 fight win streak. Like he should have got the title shot. Just for some reason got delayed and then had one bad loss after a bad injury, took some time off. And, he's never looked really the same after that Li Jingliang fight. But at one point, he was decimating guys. Like, he knocked out Gunnar Nelson. I know there's a little eye poke there, a little controversy, but, beat up Neil Magny, knocked out Neil Magny, beat Mike Perry, like, he beat Sean Strickland. Like, he's got some pretty damn good wins, man. So I'm going to go with Santiago Ponzinibbio. I sort of like the matchup. Both guys, very similar in height, same age, around the same reach. Both guys like to strike, so I think it's a decent fight. Up next, Montel Jackson taking on Daniel Marcos. So you got the undefeated Daniel Marcos, who's 17-0, and he's almost a 2-1 underdog, which tells you that they're really hoping really high on this Montel Jackson, and he's legit, man. He's definitely got some experience, some big wins. Beat Hani Yahya, beat Damon Blackshear, who fought last week, and but Daniel Marcos, he's legit as well, coming off a big win over Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez was a pretty hyped up guy coming off the Contender Series, a great boxer. Didn't really live up to the hype, but Daniel Marcos has been looking good. Do I think he should be plus 170? I don't know. I think it should be more towards even, but I think I might go with the underdog on this one. I'm going to go with Daniel Marcos. I'll go with the undefeated boy from Peru. Surrey City taking on Cameron Smotherman. I'll go with Surrey City on that one. The Ukrainian from Toronto. Jeremy Stevens taking on Mason Jones. Horrible mismatch here. I really hope they'd give Jeremy someone around his age and experience, but Mason Jones is just a hungry young lion, and they're just going to feed Jeremy Stevens to Mason Jones. I know Jeremy's been doing his thing on bare knuckle or whatever, but UFC is a different level, and he's just not the same guy he used to be, 10 years ago. So, time's up for Jeremy Stevens. I don't know how many fights he's got left. Maybe he's just doing this for the paycheck, but it is what it is. This is a really tough fight for him. I'll go with Mason Jones on this one, and clearly minus 600, biggest favorite on the card. I mean, it is what it is. They're just feeding Jeremy Stevens to this guy. Because Jeremy's got a decent name, and he's exciting, likes to strike. He's got some knockouts. Misha Tate's back, taking on Yana Santos. It used to be Yana Kunitskaya, whatever. Thiago Santos' wife. This is, I don't really care about this one, but that one will be going to the decision, I think. So I'll take that one to go decision for sure. I'll go Azamat Bykov, the Russian, huge favorite, minus 400. Huge favorite. I'll go with Jillian Robertson. She's been looking good. Her jiu-jitsu's been looking real good. And the last one I'll touch on here is Gaston Bolanos, the Dream Killer, taking on Quang Le from Vietnam. Yeah, these guys, not the greatest. Gaston, he's had 3 fights in the UFC, and he's got 2 wins by decision and 1 loss where he got knocked out pretty badly to Marcus McGee. But that's taking a big step down in competition here, taking on Quang Le. Quang Le has 2 fights in the UFC and lost them both. He is currently 0-2 in the UFC. But some of those guys he's fought is a little better than, he's fought his first fight in the UFC, fought Chris Gutierrez, who at the time had 27 pro fights. And, her last fight he fought Long Xiao. Long Xiao has 35 pro fights. Now you're fighting Gaston, who's got 12 pro fights. So he's taken a huge step down in competition here compared to the guys he first fought in the UFC. So I'm going to go with the underdog. I'm going to go with Quang Le on that one. I think, you should be able to get it done. So I'll go with Quang Le, slight underdog. And then I'll go with Thomas Peterson against Don'Tale Mayes here. Almost a 3-1 favorite as well. But yeah, this is decent card. Obviously people are really tuning in for the co-main and the main, right? Bo Nickel, everyone wants to see him. He's probably the fight everyone's looking forward to the most, including myself, because the main event is really one-sided. Clearly the odds show that as well. minus 550, so yeah, those are your picks. And if you guys need a place to bet, BetUS promo code Iceman. This is just the appetizer for the big pay-per-view next weekend. So, out.